Oh, stay tuned. We've got a couple of filings today that came rolling in. Randy hit it just in time, as we suspected he probably would. And of course, the first one is the response to request for order under FRCP 41A2, dismissing counterclaim counts 2 and 3. Jeremy Hales, by and through underside counsel, response request for order under FRCP 41, dismissing counterclaims 2 and 3. States, plaintiff does not object to dismissal of counterclaims 2 and 3, but does not agree with the request to the extent that it states dismissal will render moot the motions to dismiss, eliminating the need for court to rule on those motions. 2, this is because the motions to dismiss also relate to one of both counterclaims, both for intentional infliction of emotional distress, which still remain pending. Thus, the dismissal of the counterclaims, counts 2 and 3, does not eliminate the need for the court to rule on the motions to dismiss. As to count 1, the motions to dismiss remain ripe for ruling. Interesting. So what I did is just to keep things nice and entertaining, I have written a nice little open letter to your dear listener. I hope you get to enjoy this one. Let's strap on the helmet, and why don't we just get down to it? I think that once we get these readers on here, so we can make sure that we can see everything nice and clearly here, we'll dig into this nice little filing by Mr. Randy Shochet, and it's going to be quite enjoyable. Open letter to the delusional dreamer known as Bruce P. Matzkin, aka the Bubbles. Bruce, once again, you've waddled your way into federal court thinking you're limp. Recycled filings are going to change the trajectory of this case, and once again, you've been publicly pantsed. This time not by me, but by opposing counsel, in writing, on the docket, for everyone in the world to see. And what a beautiful thing it is. Let's unpack this masterclass in humiliation, shall we? You filed a grandiose request for dismissal of your own counterclaim, counts 2 and 3, after ramming them down the docket like you were tossing glitter at a clown convention. You hyped them as your magnum opus, extortion, tortious interference, claims so urgent you practically begged for the court for immediate relief. You motioned, you postured, you ranted about being oppressed by the big, bad plaintiff, and now you quietly asked the court to delete them like a teenager trying to erase browser history. The only thing missing from your filing was a sad trombone and a clown nose. And then, like a chef garnishing a turd with parsley, you had the gall to say that your dismissal should moot the very anti-SLAP motions that exposed your garbage filings as meritless from the start. Buddy, you wish. The only thing moot here is your entire approach to the law, and Shochet, to his credit, wasted no time reminding the court that your beloved filings still apply to what remains of your counterclaims, specifically count 1. Your oh so precious intentional infliction of emotional distress fantasy that reads like a rejected Law and Order script. Now let's be real here, Bruce. You knew the court was circling your dumpster fire. You knew those motions to dismiss were about to land like a meteor on your paper-thin legal strategy. So what did you do? You tried to jump out of the way and take the trash with you, hoping the court wouldn't notice that smell. It's too late. Shochet lit that match for you. It's almost poetic, really. You begged the court for attention with your scattershot pleadings, then whined when attention came with an order demanding you show your happy ass up with a checkbook, and now you're trying to cut off pieces of your own lawsuit before the sanctions guillotine comes down. Desperation is not a legal strategy, Bubbles. But I'll give it to you. It's highly entertaining. You can't argue the facts. You can't make a coherent legal argument, and you definitely can't handle being held to the same standards you've been weaponizing against others since day one. What you can do is file duplicative loaded motions with more recycled whining than a Taylor Swift breakup song. But guess what? Even the judge has had enough. That's why Doc 118, the order the judge gave you, struck 4 of your motions in one fell swoop and announced your behavior was so embarrassing it would now be addressed as a sanctions hearing. I hope you've marked April 3rd in permanent ink on your Lisa Frank calendar, because it's going to be the courtroom equivalent of a demonstration. And when Judge Bolitho told you to bring your checkbook, oh, Bubbles, no, he wasn't kidding. He's seen more professionalism at a toddler's birthday party. And now you've got Shochet, whom you've been baiting and mocking for months, filing short, clean, precise slap to your forehead, leave an indentation larger than your nose, pointing out what we already knew. You're not dismissing your claims out of legal elegance. You're trying to dodge incoming anti-slap fire. Let's talk about that for a moment. Do you realize that dismissing a claim after someone else files a strong anti-slap motion doesn't erase the motion's effects, right? That's like pulling the fire alarm and then pretending your fingers weren't on it. Sorry, Brucey, this isn't reset. You don't get to do over because you suddenly realized you lit your own pants on fire. This is the very last gasp of a lawyer who's been caught holding a matchbook in one hand and a list of YouTube talking points in the other. You didn't strategically withdraw your counterclaims. You fled the field. You dropped your weapon like a little girl and tried to whistle like nothing happened. One summary, Brucey. You filed bullshit, nonsense, tried to run, and now your moot argument just got suplexed by a 3-paragraph response that left your legal dignity in shreds. You're not the victim here. You're not the crusader for justice. You're the litigator equivalent of a guy who lights fireworks in a gas station bathroom and acts surprised when shit explodes all over your face. That court will see you on April 3rd. I'll bring popcorn. You bring your checkbook. Yours, in blunt force truth, Shizzy Wiznut. The guy who actually reads filings before mocking them. That is my opus. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you enjoyed that nice reading of a letter. And stay tuned. We do have more. Peace.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With Shizzy Wiznut.